Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have a very special guest with us, Katie Odom. We met when she first made Master Coordinator, and Aldana and I were so impressed with both her path in this business, her commitment to this business, her work ethic. She's 100% Shaklee philosophy. And I don't want to take anything away from her story because I wanted to share some of that tonight. But I think of any of the new masters or newer masters, I should say, in this company, I think Katie is one of the best examples of what perseverance and hard work pay off in this kind of business, and especially in Shaklee. She's taken time away from her own team tonight to join us. So we really appreciate, Katie, you taking time out of your schedule. This is always a big deal for us. Time is the most valuable thing we can give to other people. And Katie has granted us that time tonight. We're so excited. So let's just start
Not just
off.
her team, but her family.
Well, that's true, which I hope you're going to share a little bit of tonight. But Katie, tell us right off the bat how you were introduced to Shaklee and what was the attraction?
Yes, well, first, I just want to thank you both for inviting me tonight. It was a privilege to be able to speak to your team. The Seymours have always been such an example to me since I got started in my business 14 years ago. I can remember listening to many, many training calls, webinars, conferences where you spoke, and so I appreciate all you both have done for the field as well. So I got started in Shaklee. It'll actually be 14 years in August, and I was introduced to Shaklee at a baby shower. So I went to a baby shower. I didn't really know many people, and it was there that I met Harper Guerra, who is my upline. And naturally, when you meet someone brand new, you start talking about, well, what is it that you do? And she started telling me about not only Shaklee as far as what products could do to help our family, but she also talked about a little bit about the business. And we connected on Facebook. I started watching some of the posts she did. One of the videos she shared was vitamins dissolving. And I started realizing, wait a second, not all vitamins are created equal. And I did the vitamin test, dissolving test back in the day, and I realized the prenatal vitamins I was taking did not pass. And so it really got me to thinking more about just natural living, non-toxic living, the products that we consume in our bodies and around our bodies. She invited me to an in-home event, and at that in-home event, she had a what we call an interest sheet. And in that interest sheet, one of the boxes that I checked was, are you interested in learning more about additional income from home, or are you interested in learning more about building a business from home, something like that. And I checked it because as a former teacher, I was a teacher for I guess it'd be almost 6 years. I really wanted to be able to stay home with my baby at the time, who was my daughter. And so I checked that box, and then it was there that they were able to talk with me more about the business opportunity and what that could look like for our family. And I remember thinking to myself, what do I really have to lose? Because I felt like these products seemed really good, and so I might as well give this business a try. The very first product I ever tried was the Basic H. It sat in my cart for maybe 2 months. So I just want to encourage you, if you have someone on the fence that hasn't yet ordered yet, remember that the power in follow-up, because that sat in my cart for a while, and then I finally decided to try it. I quickly fell in love with how well it worked, how I could Shakleeize my home, how I could save money just switching to these cleaners. Not only that, but the opportunity that it would bring our family as well. So I decided to get started it'll be 14 years ago in August. And time is flying.
Time is flying.
Well, and I find it so interesting that part of your initial introduction was to the opportunity and not just the products, because so often people tend to skip that whole part when they're engaged in the conversation. So I think that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about how your life and lifestyle have changed because of your involvement in this business.
Yes. So when I got introduced 14 years ago, we were living in a duplex home, and I can very much relate to living paycheck to paycheck, feeling stressed about expenses and wanting to grow our family. So one day we had a goal of being able to move into a home. And so for us, Shaklee has provided opportunities for us, not only financially, but also to travel. We just went on, I believe it was our 18th paid for earned Shaklee trip to Cabo. And so every single year we've been able to earn a Shaklee trip, which is incredible because we would not have that opportunity just being a teacher. And also, as my kids are getting older, they're getting into now middle school and high school and involved in a lot of things. I can always work my days around them. So that freedom of time, especially as I get older, I appreciate more and more because I did not have that when I was a teacher, and I would have to wake up early, set a very early alarm, have a long commute, work lots of nights, bring home paperwork, grading. I mean, anyone that works a full-time job can understand that. And it was never ending as well, as many of you know, with a teaching job. There's always work to be done. And so I'm just very thankful that we've been able to get out of that living paycheck to paycheck cycle. And so we were able to move into our home that we have today. Just over the last week, my husband we needed a new vehicle, and we were able to go to the dealership and completely pay cash for that. And that's really important because we strive to live debt free. And because of Shaklee, we are able to live debt free so that one of our goals that we have that we're very passionate about is being able to give back more. And so we've just seen God honor that and bless our business so that we're able to give back ultimately, which is the Shaklee philosophy of doing good and getting to be a part of that, thanks to Shaklee.
I think you must be one out of every 100,000 Americans that's paid cash for a car.
Really?
That in itself is pretty extraordinary in this day and age. So,
Well, and vehicles are not cheap these days. Yeah, they're not cheap, but that is something that when I started my business, we wanted to get out of that stressful cycle of when is that next paycheck coming in, and Shaklee has allowed us to be able to do that.
that is fantastic. Well, one of the things that has been interesting about your Shackley growth is when the new compensation plan was being developed, your group was transitioned as sort of a beta test
Hmm.
into the new compensation plan, which I know created a little bit of chaos, but also I think the fact that you were one of the first people to experience it and to grow under that plan
And qualify for the trips
and
under the plan.
qualify for the trips under that plan. Tell us a little bit about your perspective on the compensation plan today.
Yeah. So what's really neat about that our team has come around to really understand with the compensation plan is that not everyone wants to build a big team, although I love building a team and I know many other people have that same goal. But what's really neat is we have some directors that are earning at that 40% tier, which means so they're selling each month a minimum of 10,000 in personal sales. And so 40% of that, I hope I'm right in the math. That's 4,000, right?
Right.
4,000. Okay, so
Exactly.
they're earning just on their own personal sales, they're earning $4,000 at the rank of director. And so what's really neat is that we have many leaders that are at that director rank making a good income. And so, what I love about the plan is that it does allow you to have that flexibility for those that are really passionate and excited about creating a strong, good customer base. And that's something that's really important to me. Stacy Toth this morning shared the same thing that when you fall in love with the products, naturally you tell other people about them and you want to attract the same thing. And so it's really important to create lifelong customers and help your team also create lifelong customers. And so when I look at the new compensation plan, I love that. And I also love that when you're new, you can speak very clearly in dollars by saying when you bring in new people, you're going to earn 30% on them. And the Star Club bonus when you do $500. And so being able to be more precise with what someone's potential earnings are is really good, but also being able to say you can earn 30% on new people and up to 40% on reoccurring customers is really neat to be able to speak to the dollars because I think people need very clear what could I earn? How can I earn that? And the new plan allows you to do that. And so I think for many people, really working towards increasing their customer sales and then being able to help other people do the same thing is the power of what I see in the new compensation plan. I also think when you're new in today's world, we need to see income early on and as quick as possible. So I had a new leader that started, I think in like October or November, she did a grand opening. She earned over $1,000 her very first month, no prior network marketing experience, no prior business experience. And that's the power of the new plan is you can launch your business and for someone to earn a comma in their check their first month, that's pretty incredible. Because that was not my first, that's not what I was earning my first month.
Yeah, compared to our $4.53
Yes,
we earned our first month. So yeah, I get that. Absolutely.
for
Well,
sure.
tell me this. We see so many people, especially a lot of the newer people who are very strong on social media.
Mhm.
There are many of us who have always taken the classic route of face to face, across the kitchen table, in home events, that kind of thing. What does your group look like with the
Yeah.
people that are growing now?
That's a great question. So I'm very thankful that I had a lot of legacy leaders train us early on that really taught us that importance of the face to face. And so we do definitely do a combination of what we call in-home events where we, gather around the kitchen table. In the summer, we call it a swim and sample. If we're launching someone's business that's new, we call it a grand opening. But then I also love this digital way of Zooms that we do try to do at least on a monthly basis where we have some sort of event, whether it's recently on BioCell, on the business opportunity, on a new product launch. And so I like having a combination of the face-to-face where people can try the products, sample the products, ask questions about the products. But I also love Zooms and online events because not everyone lives near us. And so it's nice to be able to invite when somebody lives out of state. So I like to be able to have both, and I think both are very important. I will say I have some leaders that rely solely on social media. And they do a great job, but I also just don't think you can ever replace the face-to-face opportunity that we have, one-on-one in a small group setting. And so I really believe that you can do both. What's really neat on social media is you have the ability to reach a large amount of people through your social media connections. But I also think that the Zoom opportunity is really important as well, because you can also, like I said, invite people that might not live near you or that you might not necessarily know. Right now, BioCell is working very well for our group. We're doing a 90-day BioCell group where people are committing to 3 months. And that really helped our team a lot this last month. And that is a group that we do on Facebook to support people. So it's a combination of the in-home and then also through social media as well.
Is your Facebook 90-day strategy for BioCell, is that a weekly thing you do? Do you post every day? How does that work for you?
Yeah, so it's something that we post close to every day, and we also make it fun. So we had people fill out a form where they answer questions on how their joints are feeling, how their sleep is going, and that gets them entered into a grand prize. And when they complete 90 days of the BioCell, we're gonna have some giveaways that we're doing of either Shaklee products or I can't remember all of them. I think what was it? I can't think offhand what they all are, but they're just things that we as ambassadors chip in. And if we can get people committed to 3 months, they're going to see results. They're also going to start telling other people, and hopefully, they're also going to be interested in the business and seeing the potential of what they can do with BioCell as well.
That's awesome. Now, let me ask you a more specific question.
Mhm.
Since a large part of your introduction to Shaklee came because of that interest sheet,
Mhm.
um, I'm going to guess you use that at every in-home or something
Yeah.
like.
Yes, and I'm more than happy to email that out so you guys can see what we use. I've updated it over the years, and so what I love about it recently, what I added to it was a series of, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 questions on what are your health goals, specific questions that people can ask, or I'm sorry, that is asked on that sheet, but it helps us to gauge, okay, what are they interested in? Because in Shaklee, we have so much to offer people, but if we can take the time to really figure out their pain points, we can best help them. And I think with BioCell, what's really nice is it's so simple and it checks a lot of boxes that people are wanting help with joints, hair, skin, nails, just feeling overall better. And it's simple, for people to just have to take a shot in the morning, a shot at night. It's just so easy for people to do. So I'm really excited about what this means, not only for customers, but also what this means business wise to duplicate and help more people see growth in their business.
Fantastic. Yeah, I would love to be able to pass that on to the organization.
Yeah,
Appreciate it
definitely.
a lot.
Mhm.
Okay, last question. If I were brand new and I had expressed an interest in the business, what would we be doing now?
Okay. So right now you're just interested in the business. So you haven't joined yet, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Great question. So once you're interested, I think my goal is always to, if they're local, let's meet for coffee. Let's come over to my house so that I can ask them a series of questions to really get a better understanding of what are your goals and what are your financial goals and help paint the picture of what Shaklee can do for them. We try to do at least once a month, not every single month, but close to it, a business opportunity of some sort. So that's why I think having an event can be really helpful so that we can invite to that opportunity event. I know last month, Christy Lyons, who's on my team, she did the Live Age Free event that Shaklee's doing, which is great too. I love those because Shaklee offers a limited time, like 2 day special offer too for signing up new ambassadors. So my goal would really be to connect with them in person. If they're not local, set up a Zoom so you can see them face to face. And my big tip that I always say when you're with a prospect is slow down, listen, and try and ask as many questions as possible. because when we really take the time to ask questions, we're going to start to uncover, oh, she maybe doesn't love the job she's at, or he's really stressed with paying some upcoming bills. And we're able to then show them what Shaklee can do for us. And so I would say learn to ask really good questions. I think I learned a lot of that from you, Rick. I think you have those. What are those called? The some kind of
The questions.
yes, yes. So those have always been really good. And then also, there's so much power in getting them on an opportunity event, a three-way call where they can hear someone else's story. Inviting them to a three-way call with your upline can be very powerful. But really just trying to get a better feel for where they're at, where their goals are, and how Shaklee can help them.
So now that we have the compensation plan,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got a lot of leaders in our group who are legacy leaders
Okay.
for a very long
And dream
time,
plan.
and dream plan. What would you say to them right now as it relates to the compensation plan and where we're going?
Because their new people and their ambassadors are going to be in the compensation. So.
Yeah. So I think the important thing that I know after being in this for several years and actually talking to a lot of legacy and dream leaders, I would say the first step would be to take the time to try and understand it. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that you need to know every single detail, but I think at least getting a basic understanding of it, because when your confidence builds, then you can help other people as well. And if you don't understand it, I think that that's really important. I would also say confidence in the opportunity when you're talking to a potential prospect, a friend, maybe a member on what this business opportunity could mean for them, because I think people are seeing great success in the new compensation plan. And so figuring out how to help them see and using simple terms like, what would it look like for you to be able to earn up to 40% on reoccurring customers and 30% right away? And just using those simple phrases, I think can be really powerful. But also, yeah, taking the time to understand it and not being afraid of it. No, I don't mean afraid, but I think that often I hear from a lot of leaders that it's overwhelming them, so they don't do anything. And I think if you just learn or commit to a little bit at a time, it'll help you in your understanding of the new compensation plan.
Good advice. Really good advice. Well, listen, we are
So
just
how
about
involved are your children in Shaklee?
Oh, well, yeah, right. That's a great
I'm a
question.
great grandma. I have to know that.
I know, right? My son asked me the other day, he goes, Mom, how much do you make in Shaklee? I was like, oh, wow. So yeah, they help out a lot. I mean, in a lot of different ways. Sometimes it's helping me film something, mail something, getting Christmas cards out, taking the products, sharing them, all of those kinds of things. And then also my husband as well is very supportive. He works another job too, but it's just nice to have that support. And for them to be able to see, especially with the summer months, that I'm home and available to them and I don't have to leave and go somewhere else, I think is a big blessing.
That's awesome.
Just
Well,
had to hear
Katie,
about
this
that.
has been really, really valuable time, and I appreciate your insights. If you don't mind, can we take about 5 minutes if anybody have any questions
Yeah,
for
of
you?
course. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stop the recording, but let's open
Okay.
it up for a moment.
And Scott raised